Good morning and welcome to episode 18 of the Blue Fern Yarn podcast. My name is Shannon and I'm the face behind Blue Fern Yarns, and today I've got my mum with me.
Hello.
Amanda. I forgot her name then.
It's Mum.
It's Mum, aka Mum. So whenever I talk about my mum, or mother as she sometimes gets, this is who I'm talking about. Yeah, so we've got a lot to get through today, and we've already done like 4 minutes of rubbish at the beginning of this podcast, which some are funny and they may end up at the end of this if you want to watch, because this is not going to go smooth. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry and Facebook as Blue Fern Yarns. I also have my own website, which is bluefernyarns.co.uk, where you can find my hand-dyed yarn, higher knitting needles, my own design projects? No, that's not what I mean. What do I mean? Patterns. There we go. My own patterns.
One of mine.
And one of my mum's, which is the Fin Hat, which is very sweet. My mum also has her own Instagram page.
I do indeed.
Go on then.
It's Miss Mandy Lou on Instagram and on Ravelry.
We have got a giveaway to do, so that is for reaching 300 subscribers. We have got quite a few finished objects, more than I thought. We've got some whips, we've got some questions. I'm going to jump straight in and do the giveaway. This is really off-putting when you giggle halfway through whatever I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm going to do my giveaway. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who subscribes to my YouTube channel. I've had quite an influx of followers, so welcome to this little sort of knitting journey community. And thank you so much for following me. I really do appreciate it, and it's lovely to sort of have little conversations with other like-minded knitty yarny friends, so it is lovely. Because I've reached over 300 now, which is amazing, and the only way I found out was I got a text message from my mum with a picture circling my 300, so that was lovely. I think you're like my #1 fan.
I am, but not in a scary way.
No, you mean like stalker. Anyway, so thank you very much for everyone who does subscribe and join me on my journey. So I have got a giveaway, as I mentioned. I've got a couple of bits, so bear with me. This is sort of the first thing that is going to go in the giveaway, and it is hand-dyed yarn by me. So it's my summer yarn box, and this was the picture that I picked for the theme, so it's ice creams. And as you can see here, these are the yarns that go with the ice creams, and they're 20-gram mini skeins in a sock yarn that I'm giving away. You can put that down now. I have also got that goes in with the summer yarn box. I don't know if you want to talk about that, because that is...
No, you can carry on.
Thanks. So we have got little scissor pouches. I say little, but they do fit quite biggish scissors in the main sort of pouch, and then you could have like little scissors or needles or something.
Pens.
Crochet hooks. Anything else? No? Okay. That was made by my mum, and you've got this gorgeous fabric, and on the back you've just got... How gorgeous is that? Anyway.
Because the theme was ice cream, they're actually this shape of an ice cream.
Yeah,
if that makes
so
sense.
You've got like the cone, and yeah, it's lovely. So, and this is my mum's business card, where you can see obviously her little logo. And I'm going to try and hold it somewhere else so I don't actually cover up the writing. So that is my mum, and she is Miss Mandy Lou. Yeah, Miss Mandy Lou. For some reason I thought it was Miss Mandy Lou Knits, but that's your email address. Yeah. So Miss Mandy Lou, and so you've got your very own scissor case. Not the scissors, because I'm constantly...
They're a bit blunt.
Oh, thanks. Anyway, so you've got that goes in there. And also, I've received a lovely parcel in the post from a lovely girl called Shelley, who is made in Aberfala, Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Abafala. I will put it all in the description bar below. And she's very kindly donated a project bag to go in my giveaway. So you've got this gorgeous, I'm going to just sort of open it up a little bit. You've got this gorgeous project bag that is going to go with the yarns. And just how lovely is that? And it's quite a decent size. I don't have any cakes nearby.
It's the yarn stash.
It's the yarn stash. Hold on. Let's see if we can put some cakes in. Oh.
She's back.
Hello.
Did you miss me?
Yeah, we'll go with that. So there's sort of 3 cakes in there at the moment. So it's still quite a decent size bag. So you could definitely have 2 skeins in there with your work and things like that. So it's a lovely size. But you've got your little... It's on both sides. I don't know why I turned it around. Okay, this is going to be... I'm going to take the cakes back out.
Because they're going to go on the floor.
Yeah. And then you've got this lovely little logo for Shelley. I don't know if that's going to show up very well. But yeah, I will link her Instagram page down below so you can see some of the other stuff that she does make. She's also very kindly gifted me one of the project bags as well. So this is the one that I've got, and it's just, I love the fabric that she chooses. It's the same size. It is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, really nicely made as well.
Yeah, very nicely made. They have like okay, Mum, what's that called?
Boxed bottom.
Boxed bottom. Sorry, I'm not a sewer, so I don't really know. It looks pretty. I love it. So
also got a tag inside.
Yep.
That's I'm gonna drop the box.
Yeah.
It's got all the bulb stitch markers on.
Yeah, so you've got like a little tag. There we go. And they're drawstrings, so they just pull close like that.
We need to coordinate that.
Okay.
Ready?
And they're drawstrings, so they just close like that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so they are lovely, lovely little bags. And thank you so much, Shelley, for donating those bags. So just so you can sort of see it all together, this is the full set that you will be sort of getting. Just going to go a little bit closer with the yarn so you can see them. And that's the full set. So to enter the giveaway, I have come up with a question that I would like you guys to answer. And all you've got to do is give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. That would be great. And then answer in the comments below, what is your favourite knitting tip? Now, I've thought of one, and it's one that I've only recently sort of discovered by watching Andrea Mowry.
How I knit.
No.
I'll knit if I want to.
Yeah, I'll knit if I want to podcast type series thing that she's doing. And if you haven't seen it, definitely recommend checking it out. She gets loads of questions from us, everyone. She gets loads of questions, and she basically works her way through the questions to answer them. And this is where I got my tip from, and I just think it's brilliant. So I won't show you what it is yet, because that will come up in a minute. So my tip is when you're casting off, so I've knit this and I've used 3.5mm needles to knit the garment, which you'll see in a minute. And then when I've cast off, I've used a 5mm needle to cast off. So I haven't used I know there's Jenny's super stretchy bind off. And I don't really like that one. I find that makes it just flare out too much, and I just don't like the look of it. What is this bind off?
Bind off from big needles. I don't know.
Okay. Sometimes she helps. Sometimes not. So yeah, it just creates a really, really neat finish. And I just sort of want to get up close so you can sort of see how that works. But anyway, I just find that that works for me. It means that I just do I call it a simple bind off. I don't know what the actual name is. If I could find it, I would put it in the down bar below. But it's where you knit one, you knit the next one, and then you pass the first one over the second one that you've just knit, and then you do the next one.
So you're casting off in the pattern, basically.
Yeah. Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
That may or may not be what it's called, but that's my knitting tip. Have you got one?
Blocking.
Blocking.
Basically. I never used to block because I wasn't really sure of what I was doing, to be honest. But since you've been blocking your stuff, and they
get the drape,
things start to look amazing. But actually, the tip would be take your time when you're doing it, and make sure that you actually use blocking pins and wires if you've got them, that sort of stuff. So if I can give you a bit of a demonstration, I'm trying to pull the hair off my shawl. So this shawl is, I did this on a test knit for Joanna Harriet, who is one half of Twin Set and Pearl. And this is the silver dollar shawl.
Let me just show you some of the detail. You've got some gorgeous detail through there.
So the blocking has actually pulled the pattern out, so you can actually really see it really nicely.
I'm showing on the wrong side.
No, you're not. Oh, yes, you are. You tell you're the professional monster.
So you can see the detail a little bit better now. And then also at the edge, you've got this gorgeous sort of cable pattern. But anyway, here we go.
So I blocked this and I put it on my blocking mats and I stretched it out. So when this was finished, this was actually quite a lot smaller than this, and there you go. So the shape of it when it was finished was kind of like that. So this bit was where you cast on, and it was kind of like quite pronounced. So I put it on the blocking mats and I stretched it out, so it's now straight. And I stretched it out to about 6 foot, which is about 180 centimetres. But I didn't actually pin it. So it's now, as it dried, it did come in a bit. And so it's not quite as long as I would like it to be. It's probably just over 4 foot, maybe about 5.
4.5, I think.
Split the difference, 4.5. And so because I hadn't actually pinned it, it kind of reverted to, it didn't go completely back to what it was before, but it has actually got a bit smaller than I wanted it to be. So my tip is make sure you have the right equipment, and I'll show you the difference. So this one I blocked as well. So this is a Pure Joy by Johi Locatelli, and this is done in Shannon's yarn in Magnolia and Maple. So when I blocked this, probably can't get it.
Come this way and we'll drag it across.
Okay, so when I blocked this, I actually made sure that I used pins. And so it is actually incredibly long.
Oh, gosh.
So I didn't actually remove the pins until it was completely dry, and so it has actually kept its shape and it's kept its length.
And just look at that drape. I don't know if you can just sort of see that. I don't think I've got one that I haven't.
So it's when you don't block them, it kind of feels not rough or exactly, but kind of sturdy, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right. It's when you block it, what it does is it makes the fibre in the wool basically just relax, and then when it relaxes, it just feels better and just drapes better. So obviously when you're knitting it, say for example from a skein, this is like a 50-gram cake or a ball, or however you wind it up to then sort of start using it, you've obviously kind of stretched it, you've pulled it, the dyeing process stretches and pulls at the yarn and things like that. So it's obviously gone through a lot before it's got to this point. And then
when it's caked as well, it's on a certain amount of tension as well. When you cake it, it kind of puts a little bit of tension on it.
Yeah.
And so it kind of wants to return to that
almost a cake.
Yeah.
But obviously you're knitting it and you're manipulating it out into a garment or a shawl or a sock or whatever it may be. And then when you block it, I've done it now. And when you block it, it just then relaxes and you get this beautiful sort of drape to it. So
what I'm going to do with this one is I'm happy with the way that the pattern has blocked out and everything. I would just like it to be a little bit longer. So I shall just wear this a couple of times, and then when it comes to washing it again, I'll reblock it, but make sure that I use the pins. So yeah, so that was a very long-winded way of saying block your knits, but make sure you've got the proper equipment and take your time.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So yeah, what are your favourite knitting yarny type tips that you could put in the comments below? You never know, I might use them. That would be lovely. I'm always looking for new tips and tricks and how to do things. Yeah. Cool.
Can I get this behind you?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so now we're going to move quite quickly on to finished objects. So we've got a few between us. So I'm going to start. This was my half finished object
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, thank you. 2 weeks ago, I couldn't remember when I last recorded. Do you know what? I've just realised I didn't say what date it was. Today is Friday the 18th of June. Totally random. Yeah. Anyway. So these are just my Shorty sock pattern. And it is a free pattern on both my website and Ravelry. And yeah, so the yarn that I've used is my own hand-dyed yarn, and this one is called Urban Jungle. Just look how gorgeous that one is. Love it. Anyway, so quite often I get people ask me, what does the yarn look like when it's knitted? Now that's quite a difficult thing to sort of answer, because depending what needle size you're using, what gauge, what pattern, what stitch, it can always look different. But I have decided that I'm going to try and keep up with these sock swatches. And I'm just going to use my simple, what was it called? My Shorty sock pattern. And just try and knit up some ideas, just so you've got an idea of what it looks like and how it will turn out. But obviously these are on quite a small needle and a small gauge, so yeah.
And what is fantastic about that is I don't need to make the socks anymore.
Yeah, I used to ask Mum to make them because I couldn't make socks. And now I've made about 18, 19 pairs of socks since, what was it, February that I cast on my first sock? I think it was the end of February that I cast on my first sock. I'll put a date on the screen. It's exciting. What have you got, Mum?
So, we're just about to have an argument on screen. Sorry. So this is the Rosewater Tee, which is by the Black Cat Knit Company. I test knit this one, and it's just a basic V-neck tee. The original pattern is actually meant to be slightly cropped. I'm not particularly comfortable about wearing cropped jumpers and things like that. And I did watch Kelly of Lay Family Yarns' latest vlog, and she was saying things, and she made a really good point about how we're always putting our own self-imposed rules on what we wear and what we should wear, and depending on what size you are, what age you are, and those sorts of things. So I am slightly disappointed that I didn't do it a little bit cropped, but anyway. So, and the original pattern has this lace at the bottom, rib at the bottom, the twisted rib. I'll get Shannon to do the bits. It was actually a good 6 or 7 inches, or it's meant to be a good 6 or 7 inches of ribbing.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that because I wanted it a little bit longer, and plus the fact 6 or 7 inches of ribbon.
I know. Are you the same?
Twisted ribbon.
I mean, I love the effect of ribbing, and I think it looks so pretty. I just don't like doing it.
And the reason that we're going to have an argument about it is this yarn.
So, I'm going to tell you the actual story.
This yarn is called Neon Bouquet.
I went on holiday and my mum came over and cat-sit Bennett. And
she left it out for me. To be fair, she did leave everything out for me and said I could have a go.
Yeah. Because I thought she'd write down the recipe as she went. Did she? No. So can I recreate this? No. And it's beautiful. Just look at those colours. And believe me, I have tried and tried to recreate that. The closest I got was my Carnival colourway. But that's red, this is more pink. But I still cannot recreate it. So this is Neon Bouquet, and this is my Carnival colourway. It's close. It's not actually that far off.
I don't think you've got the grey in it.
No. And also I've got a lot more red, whereas yours is pink.
And the yellow was more acid yellow.
So yeah.
I sent her photos, to be fair, of it all in the pan.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me how much dye to use.
She's a professional, she should know these things.
What, from the way it looks?
Yeah.
Mum. Anyway, also the base that she used, I literally just want to sit here and hug it and stroke it because it is my MCN base, which is 70% superwash merino,
10% cashmere.
Oh no, so it's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon, and it is so soft. So soft. And also back to the blocking thing. You can see the drape. It's just gorgeous.
And this is the ribs are done in
Carmine.
Carmine.
Which is a repeatable colourway because I did that one. Are you pulling faces?
No.
Knew this was going to be a disaster.
Oops.
Anyway, so that's my mum's lovely finished object. I've got another one, and those that are returning will have seen this a few times as a whip, but it is now finished. So this is my So Faded. Is it a jumper or a top? It's just called So Faded. Mm-hmm. It's just called So Faded.
It's a jumper if you're in England.
Oh, I said jumper or top. They're both English.
Sweater is...
Yeah, no, sweater's American. Not having this argument. Oh gosh. Anyway, so I finished this and I'm actually really pleased with it. When I had originally cast off at the bottom, I had done about an inch of the black and then cast off, and it wasn't quite long enough. So I did pick up the stitches, pull out the ribbing and do that again, and then bind off with my new fancy, not that you can see it because it's black. Oh, and I don't like knitting with black. I'm pretty sure most knitters will say that.
I think you have to have proper daylight, and artificial light isn't very good if you're knitting dark colours.
But it's beautiful. It's been blocked. So this is the... I've got the skein.
In her stash.
Just there. So it's the Drops Baby Merino, which is 100% wool. 100% wool. This is yarn group A. So it's a sport weight.
It's a bit heavy 4-ply, isn't it?
Yeah. So it is a sport weight if it's a heavy 4-ply, isn't it?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely recommend this. If you like a commercial yarn or want a commercial yarn as a sport weight that is lovely and soft and you can sort of see how squidgy it is. Anyway, love a squidge.
And the good thing about this, I mean, I know some people don't like using sort of commercial yarns and things like that, is I'm making a V-neck boxy out of the same yarn. But for my size, obviously I need quite a few balls of yarn, and it just makes things more affordable. I think I'm getting mine out of 9.
Oh,
9 balls, so
that's pretty good.
because the sleeves aren't very,
that's true.
and I'm not making it with quite as much ease as the pattern calls for, and so I think it's probably about between 35 and 40 pounds for the jumper. Whereas obviously if I was making that in hand dyed yarn, I'd be upwards of 70 quid minimum, really. If I wanted a luxury base like the Cashmere, that'd be a lot more. So.
And if you're interested in affordability of hand-dyed yarn, please go back and watch my previous video. I do talk about it a little bit, and I've had a couple of people get in touch about wanting sort of larger quantities of yarn, and I've been able to offer a bit of a discount to make it slightly more affordable for those that do need more skeins, because obviously I'm lucky enough that I do dye it myself, so I can dye up another batch if I'm running low. So it's kind of handy. But anyway, so this is the So Faded by Andrea Mowry. That was the yarn, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I've done the sleeves. I haven't quite done the sleeves how they suggested, because they suggest them to go sort of below the elbow, but mine literally sit at the elbow when I'm wearing it. And the ribbing, she just says normal ribbing, so I've done twisted rib just because I think it just looks so much neat. It's not really showing there. There we go. It just looks a bit neater, in my opinion. Actually, I did the Jenny super stretchy super stretchy bind off, and it doesn't look as neat, I feel, whereas on the sleeve it just looks so much neater, in my opinion. Obviously, if you prefer the other one, stick to the other one. We all knit in our own ways, don't we? So it's just whatever you prefer. But that's what I've got and what I've done. And then Mum, you've got another one, haven't you?
Yeah, so I'm really quite pleased with this one. So this is the Garden Gate sweater by Jennifer Steinglass, who is Knit Love Wool on Instagram. And I made it using, it's now BirdStreet Yarn, but it was Mr. B when I got it. Don't take that one away.
No, I'm not.
Oh, right, okay. All right, she's a professional, sorry. Anyway, so I knit size H.
Is it size inclusive pattern then?
It is a size inclusive pattern. I think it probably goes up to about a 58-inch finished bust size. Yeah, I would have to double check that.
We'll put it all in the down bar.
And I knit, I usually knit about a 52-inch bust size for my size. So,
do you want to lift it up a little bit more so we can see?
So, as you can see, it's a little bit cropped, stepping outside of my comfort zone. And it's stranded collar work. Dare I show you my floats?
Go on, be brave.
There you go. Can you see them?
I might have to get a bit closer. Okay, apparently I'm doing it. These are the floats. They're quite neat. I don't know what neat looks like when it comes to floats because I don't do them yet.
I think she should. I think she should, even if it's a colourwork, stranded colourwork hat, I think she should. Because, yeah.
I've only been knitting since March last year, or April last year.
Yeah.
But this is gorgeous.
Anyway, so the yarns are, I love this one. When they released this one, I actually bought 4? No, I must have bought more than that because I'd already given you 2. I must have bought 6 of these. And it's called Reverend Blue Jeans, and it's on their Hiddleston 4-ply base, which is 75.25. And oh, look at all those blues in there. You might have to do that.
So you've got all of them that just in. So that's pretty true to sort of colour, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
And this is what it looks like when it's still in a cake.
So skein, cake,
knit.
How
cool is that for a swatch?
The contrast colour is Gert Lush. I'm probably not saying that right.
Do you want me to show it?
Because I haven't got a Bristol accent, I'm afraid. And I bought this when I was at Flock, which is a Southwest Knitters. And it's absolutely gorgeous.
Look at those colours.
And I've been really generous in giving Shannon my leftovers, which I'm really regretting now. No, you can have it. I can't be that mean on your podcast. We'll wait until afterwards and I'll fight you for it. But yeah, anyway. So my garden gate sweater.
Yeah. I think I need one. What do you think?
I think she should do it herself.
Oh. That's not what I was getting at, obviously.
I didn't do sleeves because I just wanted, because it was cropped, I'm going to be wearing it over sort of dresses and things like that. Side note, I nearly embarrassed myself today because I was going to turn up in my dress, which is
the exact same as what I'm wearing. It's a maxi dress, not that you can see all the way down to my feet.
So it's a good job I didn't. But yeah.
But hers was green, mine's red.
But you have got a green.
No, I don't. I was going to buy the red, green one.
All right. So so I wanted it to have short sleeves. Because it's more of a summer weight because it's a fingering weight yarn. I could have got somebody else to do my sleeves. Now she can sock knit.
Now I can do sleeves. I really shouldn't have shown her that I can do sleeves.
And talking of that, do you remember when she said, "Mum, do you fancy doing my sleeves and I'll cook you a roast dinner?"
That was on my Trescoa jumper. It's summer. I'm not going to cook a roast dinner in summer.
Excuses. Pandemic.
You weren't allowed round.
New kitchen.
You've not been allowed round.
Exactly.
Anyway, so last on the final objects is, you may have seen this little guy pop up on my Instagram. So I used to make loads of these soft toy animals. Oh, look how cute the little tail is. So yeah, I used to make loads of these, and I used to sell them, and they were a lot of fun. But I think I did too
overwhelmed.
I did too many too quick, and I got it down to like 8 hours to make one of these. But obviously my hands are like little claws afterwards. It is again. So yeah, my hands were claws afterwards. But when I've been sort of clearing out, and obviously those that joined me on the Yarn Craft Festival last weekend will know that this was all smothered in yarn, and I had to clear out and things like that, and I found
a bag of body parts.
Yeah, I was going to say that a little bit more subtly if I could think of something a bit more subtle. A bag of body parts, and I thought, do you know what? It won't take long just to add the eyes and sew him together. So I was thinking I was going to give them away to your friend who's had a little girl. Little girl? It is a girl, isn't it? B,
and she was about as small as you were. So yeah, she's tiny. I should point out, Shannon's actually a twin, and she was only £4.15 when she was born. So
bullied by my brother.
She has since reverted that big time. She is the oldest, and she lets him know it.
By 4 minutes. Anyway, but yeah, so I was thinking I was going to give it away, but I really, really love this one, and I don't know, I think...
Luckily I haven't told my friend, and he's not likely to watch the podcast. So.
Yeah, so... I really should give it away, shouldn't I? A cute little girl will really enjoy this bunny. It's super long ears.
It's so soft. Really
Yeah,
soft.
so the yarn is, I think it's James C. Brett, and it's called Chunky, but it's
like a chenille kind of.
It is a polyester yarn, and it is all child safe because all of my toys were made child safe, which is really distressing when you have to test them. You have to like literally pull them apart, set them on fire, see what happens, record it. My poor little animals, they went through a lot.
They're not real.
They're not. They have feelings. They have feelings. But anyway, we're going to stop talking about that. The pattern is my own one, but some of it is very similar to Toft.
Kerry Lord.
So I didn't ever write any of the patterns out for anyone to sort of use because I didn't think that was sort of right. But they are sort of my own sort of design. Cute little legs. Sorry, I could talk about him all day. But he's very, her.
He looks like a judge like that.
Go on.
Look, he looks like a judge.
Leave my bunny alone. Anyway, so yeah, that's all of our finished objects, and we've been rambling for about 42 minutes. So this is going to be a long podcast.
Sorry.
I will be editing out some of the beginning of it, so hopefully not quite 42 minutes right now. I might be at the end because some of it was funny. So we have got some whips. So, Mum, what are you working on at the moment?
So, I am working on the Kerrytown pullover, which is a pattern by Annie Lumpton, who is Boho Fibre Company.
Okay.
I think.
She'll
put it down there.
We'll put it all in there. She'll put it. Yeah, thanks.
Right, so basically what it is knitted in...
Sorry, what was the pattern? I missed it.
Kerrytown. So this is on my Make 9 list. It was on my Make 9 list for last year, but I got a bit distracted. And it's knit in pieces. So, what do I do first? Do I do my project bag, or do I do my yarn, or do I do my thing?
Whatever you want.
Right, project bag.
I like big balls. Mm-hmm. Who's it from?
It's by Kelly Connor Designs, and I love it because you can actually just turn the tops over and it sits like a bucket. The yarn is by the lovely Ailey of Stuart Yarns. And this gorgeous.
So what is the yarn?
So it's 100% superwash merino. She calls it her marshmallow base. Do you want to have a go at the colourway name?
No.
I did
I'll put it on screen.
I did actually ask Ailey, and it's actually Stack Poly.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's got more letters than what that sounds like should have.
Yeah, Stack Poly. Yeah, because it's like almost like Neve, name Neve. It's that kind of
Pretty.
Yes.
So this one is a DK weight because Mum's not mentioned that yet.
Sorry, I'm not professional. And so it's knit in pieces. So you start by doing the front. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. The detail of it there.
We'll go up closer if we need to.
So basically you've got these like interrupted garter stitch panels up the side and this beautiful, beautiful cable.
Hold on. So this is the ridged sort of side, what did you call it?
Garter ridges. Interrupted garter ridges, I think is what they call it on the pattern.
And then here is this beautiful cable. Just going to sort of...
So I think obviously it will really bloom and sort of come out when it's finished and it's blocked.
Gorgeous.
So as per usual, because it was a little bit cropped, I did modify it slightly in that I put in an extra couple of rows here in the middle. So it's basically 2 repeats of the cable, and then you start doing the neck bit. That's the neck bit, isn't it? Yeah. So with the 2 repeats of the cable, I didn't want it to be a little bit cropped, so I added in a few rows here. So I basically repeated this little bit again a couple of times before I went into there again, and then at this bit as well, I repeated it again. So I've added in about, I think it's 8 or 12 rows just to make it that little bit longer. So there's the progress on the front. So the front's all done. Yeah. And then I am alternating my skeins. I'm being very good. It's actually easier to alternate your skeins when you're knitting flat. Don't pull it off the needles.
I'm not going to pull it off.
So the back is just the interrupted garter ridge. Look at those tones, they're beautiful. The ribbing on the back is twice as long as the ribbing on the front, so it's actually a split seam at the back. Yeah. And I love it. I don't love this quite as much as the front because the front was more interesting with the cables. And so...
You're trying to do 10 rows a day, aren't you?
It's 10 ridges a day.
Oh,
so basically it's a 4-row pattern repeat. And I have got another whip that I've started on as a sample knit for Shannon, which is glorious. But
we'll see that in a minute.
In order to be able to work on that one, I have given myself a task of doing 10 of the garter ridges each day before I'm allowed to work on the other one. So that's about 40 rows of double knitting. So she has updated the pattern to make it more size inclusive. Originally it wasn't particularly, but she has updated the pattern to make it more size inclusive. All right. So that's my Kerrytown.
Oh, I'm sat here stroking this bit.
And this is absolutely gorgeous.
It's so, like, literally, it's folded up and you can still sort of squidge it. Do you want to show your other one where you have to do 10 ridges before you do anything else?
Okay. So...
She's got more whips than I have to show you. I've got more downstairs, but you've seen all of mine before. They're a bit boring. These are all exciting.
Penguins! So
the project bag is... Is it your first project bag you've ever made?
Yeah, so basically it's a pattern by the lovely Ellie of Craft House Magic, and it's penguins. So it's a drawstring bag.
Let's get that out. Go on, keep talking.
It's a drawstring bag, boxed bottom, and it has got pockets inside, double pockets inside. So basically, I think Shannon's previously shown you her succulent bag, which is by Ellie. It's the same basic pattern. You could either choose to buy the pattern with a drawstring or with a zip. And I chose drawstring because I do find that I end up... Whoa, the needle's in that one. Yeah. I do find that I sometimes catch my yarn on the zipper bags because I have a tendency to...
not look what you're doing.
Not look what I'm doing, but also ram it full of yarn. So,
and we'll show you how much yarn is in here in a minute.
Okay, so on the afternoon of the Yarn Craft Festival, after Shannon did her live, I just played with colour.
We both did. We were there for hours. Just literally playing with colour, coming up with different fades. Mum's a little bit more leery with her colours, whereas obviously I'm
adventurous.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
So basically, I do paint, so I quite like playing with colour, and yeah. So you were doing your fades, and they're beautiful, but they're
a bit more similar. Subtle, and they work really well together. They're for people who don't like the sort of loud colours. Now, I'm torn because I love loud colours, but I don't wear loud colours. So, I'm doing it again, aren't I? Last time I said that, I was wearing a bright blue dress. Now, that dress never leaves this house. I only ever wear it when I'm indoors. And today I'm wearing a bright red dress. So normally I don't wear bright colours, but I am trying to. I'm trying to update my wardrobe.
I think you're a bit more adventurous in the summer than you were. Maybe your winter wardrobe is very
very dark. It's pretty much black,
monochrome,
or grey,
monochrome.
Yeah.
So, and what we were doing was Shannon was giving me a skein of yarn, and I said, but I can get to that skein in 4 or 5 steps. So we were playing, basically. Very long-winded way of saying that. So I'm actually making the Lava Lake shawl by the absolutely incomparable Stephen West.
West knits are the best knits.
West knits are indeed the best knits. And it's a triangle shaped shawl. I had no business casting this on until I'd cleared some other whips, which is why I have to make sure that I do my 10 garter ridges, which is about 40 rows, on my carry town before I'm allowed to work on this. And the colours are happiness, and that is truly happiness.
Oh no.
I can't actually wear this colour because
you just look really washed out.
I always say, this is another thing about rules. I can't wear yellow because it makes me look washed out.
You could wear it sort of down here, just maybe not right next to your face.
Well, like a skirt.
Anyway.
Yeah, actually. There are no rules. So this one is happiness. I think it's not showing.
Needles are clacking. Hold on.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm going to hold it up for you while you talk.
So the first colour is happiness.
It's still coming out a bit more orange on the screen.
It's actually the most beautiful golden yellow.
Oh, there we go. There is kind
Still a
of.
bit.
I think that's as close as we're going to get at the moment.
Does it become more yellow if I put that one next to it? No.
No.
It was an experiment.
Yeah, let's try that.
Anyway, so it starts with yellow, and then it goes. It kind of stripes into pumpkin spice latte.
Yep.
Then you do a little bit of that on its own, and then you stripe that with.
Hold that next to yellow. That will probably. So this one's called Freshly Squeezed. I'm just going to hold that.
They are definitely. That one is definitely yellow, and that one is definitely orange.
Yeah, but they're not really showing up as well.
I think it's because it's quite a dull. Horrible rainy day.
It's very horrible out there.
So that is definitely yellow, and that's orange.
Oh, there you go. You can sort of see it there. It's still not quite the right colours, but you can see that this one's definitely yellow. Yeah.
So it goes from happiness, pumpkin spice latte, freshly squeezed. So basically, this is a sample knit for Shannon for when she hopefully gets to do live festivals. Then it goes into carnival. Oh, I have to say this way. And then it goes into smooth. I don't know why I have to say it like that.
Don't, because I do it.
Smooth.
Which one do you want? Smooth. Anyway.
Yeah, so...
Can you tell we're related?
Nah. And then what will happen is it'll go back out the other way. So basically, this is in the middle, and then it kind of... So this will be the longest bit in the middle. It becomes basically it's a triangle. And you start with little stitches, I think it's only about 3 stitches, and then you increase through the colours, and then you start decreasing once you've got to the middle bit.
Another great thing, not long bind off. How cool is that?
Plus,
you've got the I-cord edging, because that's what he does with a lot of his patterns.
I love that edging.
How neat is that? And you've got it on the other side as well. So I'm going to show you one of my whips now. So my project bag is one of my favourite ones that I do show on here quite a bit. It's from the Georgie at Fibre Fox, but it's actually her mum who makes the project bags. It's just her sort of, I think that's a small signature style, isn't it? So it's got dinosaurs on it. Yes, grr. Anyway, so Again, this is my own sort of hand-dyed yarn, and the base is a 70%, I had to write it down, 70% superwash merino, 20% yak and 10% nylon. And this is the colour. So this is what it is when it is undyed. I don't know if that'll sort of show up. There we go. So that's the undyed colour, and this is wine o'clock on it. I just look.
Is that the same colour as that?
Yes, actually. That's a good point. Thanks, Mum. So this is wine o'clock on your standard 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this is what it looks like when it's on the yak. So you can see that there is a bit of difference in the colour. But this just creates gorgeous, deep, jewel type tones. And I love this. Now, this was just a test skein to see how it would take, whether I wanted to introduce it into my shop. Mum is stroking it. You can see her going, ooh.
I'm sorry.
That's fine, you can help me hold it out in a minute. So yeah, I've just got these two skeins, and they're the ones that I'm sort of creating a new design out of. Now, it will be a pattern that will need testing at some point. I'm still sort of playing along with it. I'm kind of designing as I go. My original sort of, when I get an idea, I've got like a notebook downstairs where I kind of draw out a very rough shape of what it is, and it is a terrible drawing because I've not done drawing in a long time. It's a terrible drawing, isn't it? So I kind of draw out.
Sorry, was I supposed to contradict you then?
Thanks.
No, it's perfect. It's lovely, dear.
No, it is.
You're so good at everything you do. Too much?
Too much.
Okay.
But yeah, so I draw out what I want to do. I kind of come up with a rough idea on what effect I want in each area of that drawing, and kind of go from there. But it is completely changed from the original drawing. Same idea in some bits, but not all of it. But anyway, so it is going to be a pattern that's going to be good for beginners, and it will teach beginners sort of new stitches and see if they want to try something a little bit different.
So kind of step up from your simple fade one.
Yeah, so the simple fade. The simple fade is just a asymmetric triangle garter stitch shawl. That is what it is, and this is the same sort of shape, so it's an asymmetrical triangle, but there is different stitches in there. So, and I'm happy to show it, so I will. Do you want to hold that? So it is rolling up, obviously, because that's what stocking stitch does. So you've got a large section which is stocking stitch, then you've got this little eyelet area, and then you've got really lovely slip stitch detail, and I will hold it closer in a minute, and then another eyelet area. So the needle's gone all the way through then. So you've got the stocking stitch, you've got the little eyelets which are just in there, and you've got this gorgeous, now I love this, the texture that it creates and the sort of highlight of the colour that's in there.
It's kind of peeking through.
Yeah, and then you've got another eyelet section just there. So, and I've got a few ideas on how I want to continue and how it will continue. It's going to basically, hopefully, when I finished it, we'll use up the whole of these two skeins. Yeah, I'm still working through it all. I'm still designing it, but it will be a pattern that will come out at some point. I'm not sure when. So I haven't done I haven't done too much. It's not too bad, is it? Still pretty long. Yeah, there we go. But that's what I'm working on. The other whips that you've seen are usually just socks and things like that. So have you got one more?
I've got one more.
Go on then.
So this is in, I love Frida. I really love Frida Kahlo. And this is from Shannon's favourite shop,
Watuka in Barcelona.
Yeah. And in here I have got, oh my god, I didn't realise how many ends there were. I'm doing a cozy memory blanket. I'm only using Shannon's yarn. So the plan is it's almost, yeah, it's a test. You've got to name them. No. So basically what I'm doing is interspersing every other one with an undyed. It's all, well, it's more or less all sock yarn. Some of them have been Shannon's summer boxes or seasonal boxes and things like that. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to alternate the coloured ones with like tonal, variegated tonal. I'm going to do a block that's where all the spines going that way, and then next I'm going to do a block with all the spines going the other way, and then down the bottom. So it should radiate. So
it's going to do like a cross in the middle, and
yeah,
then
it should
radiate out.
Radiate out, yeah. So obviously it's a really long-term project.
She's also raided a lot of my scraps, so she's got.
It is a Blue Fern Yarn blanket, to be fair. Those, the ones in there, are the ones that I've already used.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not even going to be able
and
to
some
show
of them are Shannon's really early colours. So, for example, this one here, I think this is probably one of the very first ones that you did. Your Tequila.
I don't think that one's Tequila Sunrise.
Yeah, it is Tequila Sunrise.
Oh, that's the first one. So you've got that purple and grey one. So when I first started dyeing, I bought a purple dye and a grey dye, and I didn't know which one I wanted to do first, which colour I wanted to do first, so I did both in the same skein. And it's beautiful.
I think you've got a sock there.
Oh, I do! Look at that. So
just throw these things together, you know.
This is that purple and grey one, and it creates like this sort of cool texture on where the colours go. So you've got obviously the micro striping of the purple, but the purple's all on the top of the sock, and you've got the grey on the bottom of the sock. This is the Rose City Rollers sock pattern by.
She was Orange Knits, but now she's Mara Catherine Briner.
That's easy for you to say. I wouldn't have remembered that.
Mara Catherine Briner. It's like a steel trap.
Mm. But yeah, so that's what that one is. That's a very, very early one. You've got Sea Glass, which is just in there. I don't know if that was Sea Glass. Oh, that's from my first ever spring box. That was Crocus. You've got watermelon just down here.
Shannon hasn't seen this yet. So.
No, it's quite exciting. I've not seen it at all.
So you've got some of your ocean
minis, yeah. Minis. And peacock. Ooh, that was the summer box from last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to dye that one again, look.
Oh, and that was from your New Zealand
mini set, yeah.
Mini set. And obviously you've got the
nice spring box. These are 2 spring boxes from last year, not this year. You've got some semi-solids in there as well.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So yeah, so it's basically variegated yarn followed by a
so I'm just going to point it out. So this row here is variegated, then you've got semi-solid. Ugh, my arm's not long enough. Variegated, and then again semi-solid.
So, and in between is an undyed yarn.
And the base for all of these is, what is it, the 75-25?
Yeah, but I think that was the bamboo one, because that was your Muscovado.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the majority of them are Shannon's sock yarn.
The platinum base that I sell.
I was going to put some Neon Bouquet in there, but I gave you the ends.
Well, you can have them back to do a square. Whatever's left back. Because I've got the leftovers, and I'm constantly trying to recreate it.
I told you what I did.
Oh, I put a little bit of grey there, and I put a little bit of red there, and I did that, and I did that. I need the measurements. Because I can't get there.
Anyway, so yeah, so it's my Blue Fern Yarn blanket. I've got a horrendous amount of ends.
I'm not helping with that one.
So, yeah. And obviously this is going to be a long-term project.
Yeah. When she's finished it, I might see if I can nick it and show you guys.
I have got other ones that I'm not really working on.
Because she keeps picking up all my sample knits before she does anything.
Well, the thing is, the deal is, if I do a sample knit, is I get to choose my yarn.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got some questions.
We have.
So
before we do the questions,
yeah,
she thought I forgot. Happy birthday!
oh, thank you. So, oh, this is a surprise. So, yesterday was my birthday, 17th of June. Yeah. Oh, thank
It wasn't
you.
just your birthday, it was Nicholas's birthday as well.
Yeah, okay, it's Nicholas's birthday. And if you want to be really, really picky, it's also my partner's mum's birthday. All on the same day.
And the dad of the baby's birthday.
Yeah,
The rabbit.
for the one who will most probably get the rabbit. Most probably.
I hid that well, didn't I?
Yeah, I had no idea that was in there.
In my podcast basket.
Ooh. This is weird doing this on camera.
Because you've got to pretend to like it now.
Thanks. Ooh.
You can never have too many.
Oh my god! Oh my god! She's finally done it! So I keep threatening to, threatening. That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Demanding.
That's really hard. Yeah, it's probably true, to be fair. I would love to stock some of my mum's project bags on my shop. So if you think she should have her project bags in my shop, put some comments down below.
She made me get the business cards and things like that. I'm just a little apprehensive about it.
Made you? You asked me, and then I had to sit there and design them for her.
I'm just a little bit not confident.
Gorgeous. And I'm going to tell you why she's wrong about not being confident. So, oh, that is gorgeous. So we have got a lovely one here with, just look at that fabric. You've got the foxes, little houses, trees, birds. We've got some hares in there.
I have to say, oh, the hairs are bigger than the houses.
My mum has this thing about
Perspective.
yeah.
You know when you go past people's houses and they've got they've gone over the top with garden ornaments. And the thing is they have things like pigs that are the same size as their chickens. They should be bigger. Or they have birds that are bigger than sheep. I find it distressing.
It's worse when it's around Christmas time and people have decorated their houses or their gardens and you've got a penguin the same size as Santa.
That would be terrifying.
It'd be bloody cute because penguins are adorable.
Anyway, carry on. Side note.
Yeah, side note. There's a lot in here. Oh, so it's a gorgeous little... Oh! It's like measuring tape. That's really cool. So you've got like measuring tape drawstrings. That's pretty cool. And then you've got the inside, which has got a lovely little flowery fabric. And now that I know, it's got a box bottom. Oh, and it's squidgy. I like things squidgy.
So
I think
it's
that might
got-
be a yarn thing.
It's got sort of fleece insert, fusible fleece insert.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And so
Oh, and it sits.
that's why, because it's got the
Box bottom.
gubbins in them, the squishiness in it, it
It
makes it
sits
nice.
up like a bucket.
Da-da.
I was trying to do it so I You're getting a little bit hysterical now. How beautiful is that? So that would be like a shawl size bag, wouldn't it? You could definitely get socks in there. You could get... Is that the same size?
I think that one's... So basically the bottom on this is quite a bit bigger. Does my bum look big in this? Yeah, so it's
like penguins, yeah.
Slightly bigger.
Yours is slightly wider, but this one's slightly taller.
Yeah. But you could probably get all of that in there.
I might transfer my shawl into this one, the one that I'm designing. I'm going to do that. And also, there's another one down here.
So that's definitely a sweater sized.
Ooh. Just look how... Oh, it's massive. It wasn't even on the screen.
I did say it was a sweater size.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't quite get it on the screen. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous is that? You've got all the stones. And then on the inside, you've got this gorgeous, like, it's a white fabric. Is it going to show you? I don't know if it'll show.
It's almost like a shadow kind of pattern on it.
Yeah, so you've got... It's a white fabric with bright white triangles all over it. Oh!
So you and your rock pools.
Me and my rock... Yeah, I'm a big fan of rock pools. Even now, if I go and see a rock pool, I'm literally in there seeing all the little shells and snails and fishies and crabs freak me out. Nothing on this earth should have 8 legs. You don't need more than
Do crabs
4.
have 8 legs? Do you remember when
6.
Do you remember when you and Nicholas was small and we lived at Nanny and Grandad's house at the beach, and he used to get the dead crabs, but he'd only get sort of like the odd legs here and there. And
He'd chase me with them.
he'd chase her with them, but he's also he was into Lego and connects and things like that. He tried
to put them all together.
He tried to make crab puzzles. That makes him sound really weird.
Yeah.
He's not weird, he's really normal. As normal as Shannon.
You're implying. I feel like I should take offence. But yeah, I want these in my shop, please, Mum. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
She's going to help me find a pattern this afternoon for another garment, because I'm desperate to cast on another garment now that I've finished my So Faded. But I don't know what I want to cast on. And I don't know what yarn to use, what colours or anything. So we're going to raid my stash. We might be raiding a little bit of the shop as well. Be quick if you want anything. And yeah, so just how gorgeous is that? Thank you so much, Mum. Yarn's rolling.
Yarn down. Yeah, can I never have too many project bags.
No, you definitely can't. Mm-mm.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Oh. Love it when it's my birthday.
And you thought I'd forgotten, didn't you?
No, because you got me a card.
And we are planning a trip. In sort of, I think it's mid-July.
Yeah, about 16th of July, isn't it?
Yeah.
Calendar's up there. I don't know why I tell you guys all the time, but calendar, stash. Stash, calendar. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are planning a trip, and I'd said, because she's very... The difference between the two of them is when you say, what would you like for your birthday? Nicholas has got an Amazon wish list of all the things that he needs, and all the things that he'd like. And I just literally look at the list and think, right, tick, 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 done. And you, that sounded like tick, 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 boom.
Yeah, I did, didn't it? I was thinking that.
Tick, tick. Anyway, and you, it's like, don't really know, whatever.
Oh, like this. Oh, guess what I bought the other day? Yeah, I do. I buy whatever I want. Well, not whatever I want. I haven't got that much money. But if I want it, I will save up and I will get it.
Yeah, so it's really difficult to buy for Shannon. And seeing as she's become a knitting machine, you can never have too many project bags.
I just need more projects.
And then we are going on a trip, yeah, she'll get some yarn then.
We haven't quite figured out exactly where we're going, so I'm not going to tell you guys until I know exactly where we're going, but we know yarn will be involved.
Obviously.
Obs.
Right then.
Questions. Okay, questions. So I put up a story.
Ask me.
On Instagram and stated that obviously my lovely mother is joining me today on my podcast, and came up with an idea of, if you've got any questions that you want to ask us, let us know what they are and I will answer them on the podcast. So I did get quite a few. Some of them were quite similar, so I've kind of sort of put them all together. So we are not on here for hours, but I think we are going to be on here for hours anyway.
Sorry.
That's fine. I mean, I've just got to sit there and edit it all and then wait for it to upload. Which is the most annoying bit, is the upload. Because it takes so long. But anyway, you don't want to hear about that. So, we've got some of the questions and...
Push it down there.
Yep.
Calendar. Yarn stash. Question.
You just wanted to be included, didn't you? Okay. So, the first one that I'm going to just say is, which project have you helped each other out with the most? So...
Sleeves. Sorry, did I say that too loudly?
Yeah, I think she's implying something there. Anyway, so yeah, Mum helps me out quite a lot. If I don't...
knitting.
Anyway, if I've got a question about knitting, I quite often go to Mum before I go to YouTube. And if Mum doesn't answer her phone, then I go to YouTube. Yeah, so if I've got a question about the pattern or how to do a certain stitch or anything like that, I go to Mum. When I was doing my first garment and I started on the sleeves, I'm not going to tell them what went wrong. Oh,
yes, we are.
I was doing the decreases wrong, so I would have ended up with like 5 foot long sleeves.
So basically, the decreases, she had to decrease every 4 rows 15 times. So she started decreasing every 15th row. So she would have ended up with sleeves really, really long. And then she decided that she didn't want to do it anymore because she couldn't knit in them round.
Not on a small circumference. So that was before I like really discovered DPNs or socks or anything like that. So now that I can do that, I can obviously make my own sleeves. No. But yeah, so Mum helps out with a lot of things. But what about you? Do I help you out at all? Or do I just give you yarn?
I helped you with your
no
slip extravaganza, didn't I?
How do I help you?
Oh, triangles.
You help me with everything.
So basically, I think about blocking. So although I have been knitting a long time, I do knit and crochet and things like that. Although I've been doing it a long time, I've never actually really blocked anything. So I think blocking.
You're just understanding it and what happens.
Yeah. So I think what it was is when you did your... Because I never block socks because I just usually put them on my feet, and I would never...
Your feet do that?
I would never normally take photos. In the past, I guess I've used things like commercial yarns and things that are kind of mainly acrylic or cotton or something like that, and they kind of revert to shape anyway. I've since learned they kind of revert to shape anyway, so you kind of don't really need to do a lot with them. But actually, yeah, blocking and doing it properly rather than just, oh, I'll lay it out, yeah, that looks all right, done. Pinning things out and yeah. Using her washing line to do blankets. Because I don't have one.
And I do. We've got a new one now.
Have you got a whirligig?
No,
Did
I
you?
didn't go on.
Did you?
I wanted one. Anyway. Yeah, I want to just add on the blocking thing. So, although you don't have to block, and I know some people will probably argue and say that they don't feel blocking is needed or anything like that. It's totally up to you. If you want to block, block. If you don't want to block, don't block. I do, because I like to take a photo, and I put photos on my social media of certain yarns when I've knitted them up, basically. I put them on my Ravelry page just so you can sort of see what it looks like. And also with Ravelry, it's kind of like a catalogue of what you've made and what yarns you've used and things like that. And that's what I try and use Ravelry for. I'm not always great at updating the notes and the comments and things like that, but I'm going to start trying to do all of that.
I've started to do that, and I'm going to get Shannon to take some photos of me in my finished jumpers, because I have got loads of projects on there. I know not everybody can access it, but for me it's more my...
It's your knitting journal, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I'm not very good at sort of... I'll start a new journal for every project, and so I end up having lots of... Yeah, anyway.
And she does. She's got loads of notebooks,
I
which
love
have been used for like
stationery.
1 or 2 pages
I love
and
stationery.
then never used it.
Anyway, so I kind of use it, and then I've started to put in what size I am, because I think it's really helpful when you're looking for projects to do.
Yeah.
I tend to go on the projects bit and see who's made it before, and then see if I can find somebody who looks like me, which isn't always easy, because we're all afraid to put our pictures of ourselves online.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, I've started to put my size and what size I've made, which means what ease I've done, and any modifications that I've done just to make it fit me better. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also helps, like... I'm still fairly new at knitting, although I've been doing it for a little while now, and I've done quite a few things. I find that quite useful, going on to the projects on Ravelry and seeing sort of how other people have made their items, like you said, what size they've made, which a lot of people don't tell other people what sizes they've made, because, I don't know, again, it's the whole what you perceive as like body shaming and things like that, and it's totally not right. And
the rules that you think, you're governed by, you shouldn't wear, if you're a certain size, you shouldn't wear a cropped. Well, if you look at things like Jacqueline Cieslak and all her patterns, and they're amazing, and she's kind of thrown the rule book out, and it's kind of, it's empowering, I think.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit...
Yeah, but you've started, haven't
yeah,
you?
I'm not particularly confident still.
Yeah. And I get that.
Yeah, Shannon's a big cheerleader, so that's good. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about blocking as well, I've just remembered something else. This is a bit... squirrel!
Yeah.
Go here, there, everywhere.
That's pretty much most of this podcast.
And most of our life, really. I love the way that it relaxes everything.
Yeah.
So it kind of... And that actually...
And it softens the yarn
as well. It softens everything out. It evens out the stitches. It relaxes everything. But then also I think it will then remember that.
Yeah, so for socks, again, I've spoken about this a few times before. So when I block my socks, I do it for my photos. I do it because it looks pretty, sits nicely in my wardrobe.
They feel more comfortable as well, really.
They feel more comfortable. They've got that gorgeous little drape. I don't know if you remember those that are returning the drape that you get. Yeah, but once I've worn them, I don't block them. I just lay them flat on a mat.
When you've washed them.
When I've blocked them.
When you said when I've worn them.
Yeah, then when I've worn them, and then when I'm washing them. So I've worn them, I've then washed them. I just lay them flat, so they don't ever go as beautiful as first blocked, but they still keep their shape. They still look lovely. It remembers it.
Yeah,
it remembers the shape that you've put it in when you've sort of finished your project and you've blocked it. But again, blocking is entirely up to you. Yeah,
and it just opens out all the, especially if
you've got lace. Lace. Touch wood.
We're not related.
Yeah, when you've got lace and it just opens up the pattern, it's just beautiful. Anyway, on to the next one. So, what do you do to relax and unwind? Because your yarn is mostly your business.
It's not my business.
Well, it's mine, isn't it? But
what do you do?
oh, me first, okay. So I knit. So yarn dyeing is my business, and that's what I enjoy, and a little bit of like pattern designing and things like that. Sorry, there was a ball of yarn and it kind of didn't realise what's on the floor. Yeah, attention deficit. Oh, shiny. Sorry. Yeah, so I knit. I can't sit there and watch TV and do nothing. I have to do something, and it's usually knitting. So I can sort of knit and watch TV at the same time. Unless it's a very complicated bit, then I press pause. Then I do what I'm doing, get to the easy bit, press play again. That's sort of what I do. I really enjoy knitting. And I love the fact that you get a finished garment out of it, or a sock, or like I've got 2 boxes that are full of knitted items, full of gifts for people. Yeah, it's really nice just to have a finished object and be able to wear it and know that no one else is ever going to have that same so faded top unless they specifically copy me with the same yarn, which is not a problem. But, you know, you're going to have a quite unique item. And if it's hand-dyed yarn, it will always be unique. Because no matter how many times you try and get a skein of yarn to look exactly the same as another skein, it is impossible. What do you do?
I do a lot of knitting. I do. Sorry. I'm going to break into an ABBA song in a minute.
No, you're not. Carry on.
I do walk. I do enjoy going for a good walk. I don't knit and walk because I'm clumsy enough as it is. But I also find that actually knitting is... I find when you find there's lots going on. So Shannon's mentioned previously about her granddad's. So my dad has been unwell. And so it is a worrying time. I find that actually getting myself caught up in that cable pattern on the Kerrytown was a really good distraction from sort of things whirring around in my head. And also it did actually help me relax and sort of de-stress and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like mindfulness, isn't it? And like meditation and things like that you kind of... You're so focused on one thing that it kind of makes you stop thinking about the things that are stressing you out for a little while.
And I think
it gives you a chance to sort of, like you said, relax.
And I think it depends on the project. So I have done recently quite a few sock tubes, purely because it's just round and round and round.
I've got a couple.
And we've got some. We've got one for Tom as well, but we're not allowed to show that. We're just pretending that we're not making him anything.
It's hidden in the bottom of a project. We're whispering because he's downstairs. It's hidden in the bottom of a project bag, which is downstairs, and I can't bring it up sneakily without him going, "What you doing?"
I'm sure he rummages when you're not out anyway.
He does. He knows I do. Which is why he left my birthday present in his car for a couple of weeks, because
That's
nosy.
mean.
I'm nosy. So this one's my yarn, which is just dragon fruit. I think you guys have seen this one before, and I made a pair of socks out of it for Mum.
So I've kind of been doing these, and also for work I get an hour's lunch break, and so we, I can just sit there and mindlessly go round and round and round.
Another question. So we're going to do 2 really, really quick ones. So, Continental or English? I'm English. English knitting.
Generally English. However, in this one, I do both. So
why did you do both?
So, when you're doing colour work, I find it easier if I have my main colour in
Your English hand.
English. So when I'm knitting in my English hand, and then tension the other colour in my left hand. So I'm knit, and then knit. So I'm not actually
crossing them over too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did both.
Cool.
I haven't done a whole garment in Continental. Perhaps I should try. I don't know. Tension is fairly even with both. Yeah. So I do both, but generally, it's usually English. I'm a thrower.
Okay. And then wind by hand or with a ball winder?
Depends if I can get Shannon to do it or not.
If I've got more than one skein, I will do it on the ball winder. If I've got one skein and I can't be bothered to get the Swift out, get the ball winder out and just faff around, I do it by hand. Or if we're with Nan.
Or if we're feeling really, really lazy and we're with my mum, we get her to wind it by hand.
Yeah. She does this weird.
So basically, she kind of loops the yarn.
You do know you're going to end up having to do this whole ball. It's a 50-gram ball.
I'm not going to do it all. I'm just going to do the beginning of it, and then we can just wind it up. So basically, what she does is she loops the yarn around her thumb and then her little finger, and she does that.
But it's really funny when she does it because she just looks like she's just going like this.
It's like,
she doesn't do the jump up and down. But
I can't do it as quick. But basically, she starts it like that, and then she'll take that off,
fold it over, and
then make it into a ball. But yeah.
Yeah.
We say...
Hi, Nan!
Yeah. We say, hi, how are you? Are you bored? My sister will actually get my mum to wind everything.
Yeah, but that's because she manages to tie everything up.
She just gets in such a knot, and sometimes it's infuriating.
You sit there and watch it, and you're like,
just give it here.
She might do that on purpose, you know.
What was it she said the other day? She got in such a terrible state about it. And I said, are you sure you don't want me to help you? She said, actually, I find it quite therapeutic trying to undo this knot, kind of, because I think everything else was...
too much.
Whatever. Yeah, when life gets too much, she's like, all I'm doing is concentrating on getting this knot undone. But yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
And then the last question is, do you have a favourite designer or pattern?
All of them.
Okay. I thought she might break that down a little bit, but no.
I tend to... I like Ho-He. I've made a few. I've done the V-neck boxy. I made you the easy one. You're like looking at me going, which one?
Is that the
blue one?
Oh, I was going to say it was greeny blue, but okay.
Yeah.
Close.
I like the way that she writes her patterns. They're really nice, really good. I like Andrea Mowry. I've done her Nurtured. We're going to do the Weekend Delight together, aren't we?
At some point, yeah. Once I've decided what colour I want to make it in. And
I've done quite a lot of test knits for Truly Myrtle, who's Libby Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been knitting for as long as my mum has, and I haven't done so many sort of sample test knits or anything like that.
But I think that's a really good way of learning new techniques, getting yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And trying things.
Yeah. I am definitely totally fangirling over Andrea Mowry's patterns and her YouTube podcast blog question and answer thing, whatever you want to call it. I just think she knows what she's talking about. Her pattern was so well written for the So Faded jumper that I've made.
Yeah, I like the Nurtured. Yeah.
I want to have a go at the Nurtured. She's got a couple of other patterns that we want to have a go at. So we've got like So Faded, or Find Your Fade Shawl, and the cardigan as well.
Oh yeah, the Comfort Fade cardi.
Yeah.
So Shannon's asked me to do a couple of test knits for, not test knits, sample knits for her. She wants me to make her the Comfort Fade cardi. Zweig. That's by Caitlin Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephen West.
Stephen West.
He is
Why
the king.
did we not even think of him?
He is the king.
We even had a West knit.
Yeah. West knits are the best knits, yeah.
Yeah, his patterns are amazing. Obviously, I hadn't even been knitting a year before I started the slip stravaganza. It was an M cow, wasn't it?
Mystery cow.
Yeah, mystery cow.
And the Vertices Unite.
And the Vertices Unite. I did that one before, or I started it before. I think I finished it during.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go back a few podcasts, you'll probably have seen those ones that I've done. But his patterns are so well written. Like a beginner could do it. If you can knit and you can purl, and you're happy to give the other stitches a go, you'll get there. But
you debated for ages as to whether to start the Vertices Unite, and I'm like, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't quite like section 1, but as soon as I'd gone past section 1, I was so
I think some of them are very big.
Yeah, that one was. I did do the big one of that one, so section 1 was the biggest. Yeah. Mind you, all the others were still pretty big sections anyway, so... But yeah, anyway. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we're going to sort of wrap it up there, because I think this is going to be about an hour and a half long. But thank you for coming and joining me.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And
it's been fun, actually. I was really nervous.
Were you?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
I know, it's just weird.
It's like when I first started recording, I was so nervous about everything. And
I don't know how I would be able to do it just sitting here by myself. It's because it feels like I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah, it is bizarre when you're on your own. But that's probably why I go off on tangents and then just giggle at myself and then go, oh my god, why did I just say that?
It's just because my head.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining, if you've managed to stick with us all the way through to the end. Yeah, that's all I've kind of got to say. Don't forget about the giveaway. That's why we did it right at the beginning.
Was that today?
I know, it was like a long time ago. Yeah, hope you enjoy sort of the rest of your weekend and you have quite a crafty weekend maybe. That's all I'm planning for my birthday weekend. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you, or I will see you in a couple of weeks.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Good morning and welcome to episode 18 of the Blue Fern Yarn podcast. My name's...
Sorry.
Are you going to do this the whole way through?
No.
We're a bit blurry. You have to do it again. I don't have to do this many takes when I do it.
Hang on a minute.
Are you done? Are you drinking coffee? Stop looking out the window!
I'm walking down the road with a guitar.
And?
I don't see any people outside my window at home.
Because next to no one's there. Anyway.
Carry on.
Thanks. Good morning and welcome to episode 18 of the Blue Fern Yarn.
Now he's messed up.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You're supposed to be a professional. I nearly called you a profiterole.
You call me profiterole.
I was going to put mascara on, but I'm mainly using antihistamines because my eyes are so itchy.
Yeah, it's probably best that you don't. I haven't got anything on.
And I always need you to dry my eyebrows on.
Dry them on?
Draw them on.
Oh, draw them on. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, we're nearly at 4 minutes of shit.
I didn't mess up the last one.
You stuck your tongue out at me.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you did.
I think you were fine if you look back. I'm a mature, responsible adult.
Anyway. I feel like it's still really blurry.
I think it's because the light that's coming in. I don't mind, I'm in soft focus. Should we swap places? Because then we'd have to swap everything else.